Okay, so today we're going to start our digital citizenship lesson. So we're going to know the definition of digital citizenship. We're going to understand ways to be safe online, and we will be able to practice safe and appropriate online behavior, personal security guidelines, digital identity, digital etiquette, and acceptable use of technology. We'll be able to understand the negative impact of inappropriate technology use, including online bullying and harassment, hacking, intentional virus setting, invasion of privacy, and privacy such as software, music, video, and other media. So we're not going to download music and videos without paying for them. But our main concern is with digital citizenship and being safe when you guys are online because you probably all have some type of social media account. All right, digital citizenship. Someone who acts safely, responsibly, and respectfully online. So for your first page in your journal, we're going to write the term digital citizenship, and I want you to write this definition. So I would just put the date at the top, so that way you look at that. Then we're going to write digital citizenship, someone who acts safely, responsibly, and respectfully online. And while you're writing that, I want you to think about what does that exactly mean, or what do you think that means to be safe online, responsible, and respectful. And there's no right or wrong way how you want to put this in your journal. It's so you always have this information when we're working online at your fingertips. And I want you to look at this picture. Think about what you see here.
Keep going. Okay, we have a problem here. This is, you guys should be at that.
So looking at this photo, what do you think is happening? Look at how this expression on him, and what is he doing?
I think he just received a hateful email.
He could have. He could have gotten a really bad email. I mean, we can tell by looking at his face something's wrong, right? Yes.
Maybe he got a virus or got hacked.
Oh yeah. There's nothing worse than turning on your computer and you've got a virus on there, or you look on there and all your information's been compromised and hacked. Yeah, so something bad's happened. Do you think there's a possibility maybe somebody's just being mean to him also on social media? And he's real upset?
Pretty likely.
It could be.
Twitter, a lot of
Twitter's a big one. They love to fight and argue on Twitter, don't they? If I could have half the extra time all those people have, I don't know what I would do. It'd be incredible, wouldn't it? All right. So, what's safe to share online? That's important because people share everything, don't they? Okay. So, who has Instagram? Raise your hand. What do you see a lot on Instagram?
Oh, vacations.
Vacations. Yeah. How many follow a celebrity? Could be someone that's a sports celebrity or a movie star or musician. Or even some of these people now, social influencers who were everyday people who become famous on social media. Do you follow anybody like that? They do a lot of really fancy stuff, don't they? And a lot of them that do all these TikTok videos, which now they put on Instagram and TikTok. I'm not sure how that works. So you see a lot of stuff that people do, right? You ever notice when you watch the news or listen to it, they're always talking about celebrities and things that they did online or something they've said. Do they put a lot of information out there? I think the Kardashians are always the best example. God love them. You know, they put everything about their life online.
Was a YouTuber that they had gotten robbed when they were on vacation. And it's because while they're on vacation they posted that way the robbers can
Yeah.
that's why when you're on vacation
Okay,
it's
so we have approximately 8 minutes.
Right.
Also, when you're posting something, it acts, it has the option to put information. Like, for example, on schools.
Of those 8 minutes, 4 are gonna be between us.
Yeah, you can. And these guys, like the YouTuber, he's probably always posting pictures from his home, wasn't he? Probably did everything like, would be surprised if the address even popped up. And did you know on your phone, when you take your photos, there's a setting to turn the location setting off. Because if you don't, people can click on that photo and Google will tell you exactly where it's at. And 2 years ago, when I was teaching this, there was, and I wish I could find this article, I should have saved it, but there was a family, I want to say someplace like Saudi Arabia, but it was one of these families with a lot of money, where they're always traveling on private jets. And they had teenagers, I don't know how many kids, but two of the teenagers, they were posting their videos and their pictures on the private jet. Well, I would too if I was on a private jet. But they never turned off that location setting, and they started having problems, kidnapping attempts. Because if you kidnap somebody, you're not going to kidnap me, you're not going to give me money. If you kidnap somebody from a wealthy family, you know
can
they got their
ransom
money.
them.
Yeah, they're ransom. And it's all because they left the locations on, so they knew exactly where they lived, they knew exactly where they were. And they already knew where they were going because they said, oh, we're going to Cancun. Well, you know where you're at. So they had to go in, and it was total breach of security. It doesn't do them any good to have security if they're not going to be safe when they're posting online. Yes.
Or sometimes when people take photos, they take photos next to the street name.
A lot of people like to hold on to the street sign and they're pointing out because maybe it's their name. You see the crossroads, you know exactly where they're at.
I remember so back on when the Burger King foot lettuce picture was really popular, a bunch of people found out a way to access the information of that picture with some special settings that would let them find out where that picture was taken. And they found out where that person was working at and got them fired.
Yep, that happens a lot. Because if someone wants to track you down, they're going to. And when you give them more information, it makes it easier. You can reverse search photos on Google and know if they were original or not. That's how a lot of social media influencers were getting busted on their fake photos because they were pulling photos off the internet, their vacation spots, and pretending that's where they're at. So there's a whole show about how to be an influencer, but you're not really. And that's because they share so much information. So what we're talking about, we have personal information, we have private information. So let's think a moment. What do you think personal information is and private information? It doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. Just think what you think it could be. Because we know the celebrities, nothing's personal or private, right? It's all open. But if you think about yourself, what would you consider personal as opposed to being private? Take a moment, talk to the people on your table, share some ideas. Yes, I'll talk about too. What do you think might be personal and private? How about you can turn around and talk to them so you can What do you think personal information means and private information? Do you think they're the same, or do you think they're different? Has anyone ever asked you that before? And then we're going to talk about it. Yes.
Personal information is like private, but you can say it.
You must have taken this before. All right. 15 more seconds.
Hey, if you ever find out that like the glue's not pushing out, you don't have enough glue in there. So all you gotta do is just say, hey, let's get it.
All right. 10 seconds. All righty. Let's wrap it up. All right. So, who thinks they have an idea what personal information could be? Axel had a really good definition. me see if anybody else picks it up. These two tables. Does anybody have an idea what they think personal information means?
There you go.
Even if you could give me an example.
Now, what you wanna do
How would you describe it? Don't talk about that?
hold it for a second.
You talking about private information? Alright, Axel, tell us what you thought. I'm sorry. I'm not thinking, I gotta learn my names. Tell me what you just said about personal information.
Personal information is like something you tell to someone else, but like they don't share it too much.
They won't share that much of private. Alright, if you guys are talking about private information, what did you think about private information?
Okay. Wait, hold on. Let's try to conserve.
Private is like something you don't want anybody to see.
Sometimes let's go ahead.
Something you don't want anybody to see. Yeah, private is, you wanna keep it private,
Maybe
right?
the password of your account.
It could be it, yeah. Do you share your password with your friends? Shit. Oh, I heard that, yeah. Okay, so, I'm not gonna yet, but which password do you share? To like a social media account or your email?
Roblox.
Roblox? Okay, so tell me about Roblox. What can you do on Roblox?
As a game. Join
It's a
games.
game. What else can you do?
You can buy virtual currency.
Oh, you can buy stuff? Or
You can
want
actually earn money from
That's
Roblox.
why you have to buy Robux.
You have the creator exchange program.
Can you talk to other people also?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but there's like a chat. Yeah.
Okay,
There's a chat so you can talk to other people.
so let's pretend I'm the friend and she shared her password to Roblox. And I'm at home and I'm playing a game. And I started thinking, we can,
It's perfect.
she looked at me funny. I'm mad at her. I'm gonna buy something since I'm logged in to my friend. I'm gonna get on the chat and I'm gonna start being mean to people. Who do they think is telling them all this, and who do your parents think is actually buying the stuff? The owner of the account. That's scary. Think about that if that was Instagram, and you shared your password with someone. What else can you do if you have someone's password besides
You can post stuff.
you can post stuff? Can you change that password?
Yeah. They
Reset
can do it.
password. What happens if I reset her Roblox password?
She might
You
not
won't
be
be able
able
to
to
get
possible.
Everybody
She logged
freeze.
out, and then I can do whatever I want with that account.
Stop
What if that
doing
happened to
freeze.
your Instagram account?
Okay?
Well,
You
maybe
got like
A lot of bad stuff could happen,
2
right?
minutes.
And they can
Because
share
because-
it.
First thing you
Because
need to do.
everyone thinks you're
I'm coming around
posting
and
it,
pick up any
when
lives
actually
that you
he's
have.
posting,
Give me your
right?
or
night.
they may leak stuff.
Give me your
Yeah, I
night.
mean,
Give me your night.
anything you could consider, they could post,
Give me your night.
and you have nothing to do about it,
Okay.
especially if they
You can
reset
put
your
that
password.
on my front desk.
So that would be bad. So passwords fall under private
Give me
information.
your night.
I don't even have that on here. We can add that. So here's some examples. Personal information is like could be just your
Okay,
age.
now.
It could
some of
be
you are
your
gonna have
gender.
to scrap.
It could be how many siblings you have, your brothers and sisters. It could be about your favorite band, your favorite food, the name of your pet, food photos, sports photos.
I would take
uh,
all of the
memes,
stuff that you've been using and put it
sayings.
together
Pretty safe stuff, right? Private information, your full name,
later on.
your street
And
address,
you're going to
your
then
email
take
address
this
or
and
password,
paper and everything and put it back
your
on
date of birth, phone numbers,
You're not
credit
throwing
card
the scraps on the
information,
floor.
mother's maiden
Okay.
name. Everybody says,
Now your
what does
other
that mean?
partner needs to
Before your
clean it
parents,
up. Now, bring your hot glue guns up here.
before people get married,
Bring your hot glue
they
guns
each have
up
their
here.
own last names. And when you get married, typically the wife will take the husband's name. Sometimes it's the
There
opposite.
you go. Put
I've
that
seen
right
some
there.
stories on the internet. The wife had such a cool last name, and the guy's like, "I want your last name. I don't like mine." So, but mother's
Okay,
maiden
now,
name is
you're
like
gonna sit
the
back
number
down
one
after you clean it
security
up.
question on websites.
It's for your like your bank information. And all
Yeah,
that.
the bank wants to know that. You could make one up, but that's the number one question. Name of your school,
Okay.
social security number. Now, sometimes you can use the name of your school. Depends on how
You want
and
to
what
lick
you're
all
posting.
those
Yes, sir.
scraps
Oh, also
onto
when-
your pan and throw
like,
away
for
the
example,
garbage can.
She's using my account and she's trying to reset my password. Sometimes you can they
Okay.
send you a message of security.
Okay, I see
Or
stuff on the floor,
verification.
ladies. Pick that
Right.
stuff up on the
Like
floor. I see little scraps on the floor.
Sometimes you get that. Sometimes you can change the email that it goes to. If he already knows the password and he wants to change it, they probably won't send you a notification. They might, depends on who it is. Because they feel like normally they send you a notification when you forgot your password. They want to make sure it's you. And then there's times different sites will still send you the email that says, you just updated your password, we're looking for it's you. But what if you change the email in there also?
Oh, also like when you sign into another phone, like he already knows what phone you're using,
Yeah,
but his phone may
Well, there you
be
go.
also the same.
Chairs, you guys leave.
right. Because you set up your phone number with emails and stuff. For teachers, when we're logging into our school accounts, when I log in on, like, let's say I log in on one of your devices for whatever reason, it sends me a message to do a double verification to make sure someone's not using my stuff. So, personal information. We're going to put this after digital citizenship. These are your examples. Personal information can be your age, unless you're putting it with your full name, and then it gets off. Your gender, how many brothers and sisters you have, your favorite band, your favorite food, the name of your pet, and food photos. Private information, full name, street address, email address, your date of birth, phone numbers, credit card information, mother's maiden name, the name of your school. That can go with both, and we'll talk about why it can. Social security number. If someone gets your full name, your address, your date of birth, your mother's maiden name, social security number, they can do identity theft. They can create an identity based on you, and it's for credit card fraud and bank fraud. Because they want money. They don't want to. They don't want to get a regular job. They're too busy trying to get all this other information to lie and say they're you, and get credit cards sent to their house. And it can happen at any age, because excuse me, when you're born, you get a social security number attached to you. So someone could steal the name and social security number for like a baby and pretend they're 35 because you're online and they can't see you. And that would be a way they could charge. You could just get credit card after credit card and charge up all this money that's going to fall back on someone else's name. So let's add this to our journal. Personal versus private. You can do it like in 2 paragraphs like this. If you want to do it like in a T and compare it, it's up to you. But I want you to have this information. And think about our slides we just created. We're going to look at an example. Did you have only personal information? Or do you think you included private information too? Now ours is just for the class, but we're going to look at an example that if we posted it online, would it be safe? So we're going to look at that after you guys write this information down. This is going to be on our digital citizenship test. And what did I say that was important about keeping a good journal? Who remembers what was really important to keep a good journal? Do you get to use it on the test? Yes. Remember? That's why I said we're writing the journal, because if this information's in your journal and you got the test, boom, it's right there. That's why when we're writing stuff in journal, and I take daily grades on journal writing. I'll pull up our example in a few minutes. how class goes. All right. How about we look at this other slide and then I'll come back to this, okay? So you can kind of see what we're talking about. All right, look at this slide. Do you see personal information or private information, both, or just one or the other? Look at everything you see. And then I'll go back to the other slide. So we got some pictures. Looks like maybe that's a little meme up there. Some food, some animals. We got a link to some music. I got a link to a book, an audio book. And then in the middle, hi, my name is Davian Clark. I'm 13, born January 9th, 2008. I have wolf dogs. I like Naruto. I love memes. My favorite artist is Michael Jackson. My favorite food is BBC noodles from a ramen store. My favorite game is Call of Duty. I like Dodge Viper the car. What do you two see? What do you
I
see?
say that there is some private information, as in his date of birth.
Oh, yeah.
Its age.
His age. Yeah. Could he use his age?
Yeah.
Depending on how it's used. What else do you see?
His date of birth.
His date of birth. Anything else?
He has a
His
lot
full
of
name.
His full name. If he only had his first name and his age, would that be okay?
Yes.
But not his full name and birth. I mean, because we could start searching for people, couldn't we? I mean, so what else? You see, is everything else okay, or is there anything else that's not okay?
Most of the other stuff is like personal information. Like he says, my favorite game is Call of Duty. He tells you his favorite food. He has wolf dogs, and he enjoys Naruto.
Does he tell us where he lives?
No.
No. Did he give us a Google map location of his house?
No.
No.
Did he give us his daily schedule?
No.
No. So if he put it in class, what we presented in class, that's okay, right? Because it's just us. But if he was posting it online, he'd have to take some things out, right? And then it would be safe? Yeah. And this student, I've had him before. He was helping me out. So I wanted him to do certain things. He did on his own, so that was things. So he knows he's not going to put this online. Now think about your own poster. When you did yours, did you, oh, what did I do with my slide? Sorry about that. Did you have personal stuff, private stuff, or a little of both?
I just had personal stuff. Like my favorite food.
Okay. I didn't give you guys guidelines for that, did I? I just said what you had to have on photos and stuff. Because I wanted to see what you guys did so we could use it on this project. And talk about it. Yes, ma'am.
Miss, if I put my face in it, is that private?
Do you post that online? Do people post? Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you post your face and your full name?
My full name.
No. Would you use your full name as your username?
No.
No. I had to get onto my own children who are young adults about that. I got onto my neighbor daughter about that. She was on TikTok, had her full name. I said, you're gonna hate me for this, but you shouldn't do that because you make videos, you're at home. I don't know if she has her Google locations turned off on her photos. I said, people can start tracking you down because, and she has it on Instagram like that too. She created a new account because she had videos and photos from her track meet because she's in high school. She had photos with her family when they'd go out to eat and they would tag the location. Her mom would even tag her and stuff. And then stuff from their house. So it was enough information if I really wanted to search someone, you would have been able to start trying to figure out where they're from. So you have to think about those things because you don't realize how much information you give until you look at it from another point of view.
maybe you can just put your location when your account is private and you know who
You know exactly
accept
who's
you.
looking at it. Right. If you know every single person that follows you on your social media account and you know them face to face, then that's a little different. Okay? And we're going to talk about some other stuff like that too, because you still can commit some other problems. But we want to be careful what we put on here. There's a lot of, when you go online on any social media account, people don't use this guideline. They want to post every single thing about themselves and where they're at and what time they're going to be there, what time they're going to be at their next location. And that's from kids and adults. I mean, some of the stuff you see adults, it's like, wow, I didn't really need to know that. People like to make fun of how many times you take pictures of food and post it. But every time you do that and you're tagging the restaurant you're at, you're telling people exactly where you are. I may not be able to come to your house, but if I know you're going to go out and you're all dressed up and you've got jewelry on, and you got that expensive car, and you're eating that expensive restaurant, and you're there now,
They may want to
they
rob
might
you
show up and
or
rob
kidnap
you. Yeah, unfortunately, that happened to people visiting Houston last night. A New Orleans police officer and his family were in town. They were at Grotto's. That's an expensive Italian restaurant. And he went out on the patio with him and another guy. I don't know why. Could have been, I don't know. But two guys, and this is in the Galleria, which is an expensive area of town, two guys walked up with hoodies on and shot him. Now, they may not have gotten that information off of social media, but if you are a social media influencer and you're always posting that stuff, they can start following you. You're going to do the same things over and over. They're going to figure out your pattern.
Also, they may put a court case on you that's false and you have done nothing.
Right. They could. Somebody could post anything about you, and you can't control that. All right, are we all good with this? Can I move on? All right, staying safe. So we've talked about staying safe with our personal private information. What else does it mean to be safe? We know to be safe online. What do you do if you're outside? Like who walk? How many of my kids in here are walkers? So you got to walk home. So do you have to do things to be safe when you're walking home? Yeah.
Like have a phone on you?
Have a phone on you? What else? What if you don't have a phone? What else can you do?
My mom taught me karate just for walking.
I like that. So you could protect yourself.
Or maybe go with, like, for example, they're walkers and they can go in groups.
Go with friends. Don't go by yourself. So just like you want to be safe when you're leaving school or hanging outside, you want to be safe online. It's really important. And you have to think about that thing. So we don't talk to strangers. If you're walking home and somebody comes up and says, "Oh, I like that jacket," you're like, "Okay, I don't know you." Right? We don't talk to strangers, no matter how nice they are. You have to kind of judge when you do talk to strangers, because at some point, I was a stranger, you guys are a stranger to me and each other. You have to think about the setting of the situation. Stay out of trouble. Boy, is it easy to get in trouble online? It's easy to get in trouble online, just as it is easy to get in trouble in regular life, not online, right? You just got to be careful because it's easy. Follow the rules.
Like commenting something that's hateful
Mm-hmm.
and someone reports you.
Right. You can't. Following the rules. My walkers. Do you run across the street whenever you want to when you're leaving? But you want to get home
We check for cars.
because you want to be safe. You're going to get in a car with anybody that pulls up, "Hey, you want to ride? Hop in." You want to be safe.
I was right.
Unless you
Right.
know them.
Unless they're a good friend. So that's why you follow the rules online. You follow the rules when you're out in life. Right? All right. So we're doing great. See, you're a phenomenal class. It's 11:31, 11:41. Okay, we've got a little bit more we can do. So we're going to talk about websites. So if you have room on the next page or that same page, we can do that. How can we stay safe on websites? We go to a lot of websites, don't we? Our phones have a lot of apps. I'm going to show you how many websites I have saved on my computer for school. So I have my little my little bar here, and then when I click this arrow, look at this. All of these websites are websites that I use for school, for teaching. That's a lot of websites. Well, okay, maybe not the chicken salad chick, but that's a good example of a website we need to be safe on. That's a lot of websites, and that's not even close to a fraction of what people go to. Nobody's ever gotten to every website on the internet. Nobody's ever hit it. I know there's a funny commercial out there, maybe it's Geico, something like that, where the guy gets to he's on the internet and all of a sudden his thing flashes on the screen, you've hit the end of the internet. And he's like, oh, what do I do now? Can't do that. There's so many sites.
Too many sites.
Too many. Some people say not enough, some say too many. So we got to be safe on these sites because there's a lot of stuff out there, right? Yes, ma'am.
Miss, my aunt told me that and I've never been to the site before, and it doesn't say, like, you know, in the corner how it says secure. Well, she said that if it doesn't say that, to get off the site.
Yeah, not all sites are secure. So what does it mean to be secure?
Or maybe just say VPN or private barrel net.
A VPN. Yeah. So I want you to think about traffic lights. Green is good, right? Means go. So we want to look for sites that are green and bookmark them so you can visit your favorites. So this is what we want to add to the journal. And I'm going to let you come up with some. Green websites are good sites for kids your age. Fun, with things for you to do and see, has appropriate words, and doesn't let you talk to people you don't know.
I remember one time I tried to watch some free movies, and I used the website, but since, you know, they didn't get paid from me buying the movies, they used really dodgy ads to try to...
They do. The dodgy ads. And my older son, when he was a freshman in college, he was doing the same thing to watch videos. He got a virus on his computer. I don't know if I told you guys part of this story. And it locked his computer down. It literally tore up the drive inside. And he was working on a paper, because that's when I told him, don't use Microsoft, you got to use Google, because he couldn't access the paper. And remember when we talked about learning how Google stuff, you can access Google from any computer. So take a moment, you can talk to each other, think of some green websites. What are some green websites? And I'm going to go ahead and stop that here.